brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Yeah, very, very warm and wonderful welcome to each and everyone as we end out our week here on Talk Today. Invite you to be a part of a discussion, and it can be and include any and everything, certainly all and sundry alike. So stay tuned for Talk Today. We've got a special treat for you as we return. Stay tuned.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. We want you to be a part of a discussion as we go into the weekend, perhaps increasingly as we celebrate this month of December with that jubilant expectation of what Christmas and the Christmas breeze and the reason for the season. Well, let's do it together as we go to this next caller. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
How you doing?
All right. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you so much for taking my call. I hope that the listeners enjoy this. The reason I'm calling, a lot of people will be familiar with Captain Paul Hurlston. He's actually one of my neighbors, and every now and then when we get together and chat, he shares so much information and history, and most recently he shared a very beautiful poem that was composed by William Jacob McLaughlin, and this was aboard the MV Truxton. It was either in 1947 or 1948, and he shared this poem that this gentleman wrote, and he can attest that that was who the author was because he was aboard the ship when that poem was written. And if you would allow me, I'd love to read it to your listeners.
Yes, please. Please share it with us. I mean, it's always good to be able to reflect. Thank you, Ms. Dora. Yes.
So this poem is called Flying Turtle, and it's by William Jacob McLaughlin. If ever you're in Tampa and want to take a trip out of the Cayman Islands, why don't you take a tip? Go to the Airways office, 216 Tampa Street, and you will be delighted with the agent there to meet. You'll see that flying turtle just as you step inside. It is the Airways symbol for the plane you're going to ride. When you receive your ticket, the agent smiles and says, "Remember now, you're flying by Cayman Isle Airways." You board the plane at Drew Field, 8:30 in the morn, and soon you're over the ocean flying on and on. Soon comes the Isle of Cuba, the island we all love, surrounded by the ocean with bright blue skies above. But it is soon behind you, and you're over the sea once more. It is that blue Caribbean with its many golden shores. You'll see the bright blue sky, and then you'll understand you're on the Flying Turtle on the way to Grand Cayman. Now soon an island rises away down there in the blue. It is ye Isle of Grand Cayman with joys awaiting you. Your plane soon takes the water. The engines cease to drone. The time is just 12:50 in the afternoon. When you're disembarking, just listen to the roar of all the people cheering there along the shore. Now step out into the sunshine and feel our southern breeze. You're in the Cayman Islands, the Isle of Coconut Trees. So come all ye good people, wherever you may be, and fly down to the Cayman Isles in the blue Caribbean Sea. Just board our Flying Turtle, and you'll find it really pays to fly down to the Cayman Isles by the Cayman Isle Airways.
You know, and I thank you for sharing that with our listeners, and thank you for letting me sort of read along my head and, you know, provide me a copy. When you first read that, Mr. What do you think about it?
Well, first, I think that we have such talented, creative Caymanian people that no matter where they were in the world, whether they were on the Cayman shores or whether they were aboard a vessel such as the MX or the MV Truxton, that their creativity and their love for our islands is so beautiful. That was my very first thought. And when Captain Paul shared this poem with me that was written by William Jacob McLaughlin. And then I sat there and I thought, to have such patriotic pride, because even though, you know, while we're away, it's very easy to kind of miss your islands, but to really be an ambassador for your country, that no matter where you go, you want to encourage people to come here respectfully and to enjoy what we offer. I just thought it was just a very beautiful, patriotic poem. And I love that, you know, not every country has its own airline. Cayman Airways is a very special air carrier for us. And just that it's a beautiful thing to have a Caymanian speak such positivity and speak so highly of our islands. It's beautiful. I love it. And I'm just so grateful to Captain Paul for sharing it with me, because a lot of these treasures are with our senior citizens. They're with our Caymanian people, and there are so many amazing Caymanians like Captain Paul who have these stories and have these pieces of information. And it's not every day that we get to see it or hear it or to experience it. So I'm very grateful to you for even just allowing me to share it with listeners as well.
No, I'm thankful that you, like many of us, are starting to increasingly appreciate the depth and breadth of our culture and the rich fabric of our heritage, the way our people can record in prose or in song. And, you know, from the attempts at pottery through the prose and poetry, how we are, you know, always reminiscing. If I may ask though, have you heard this in the sing song? Have you heard it sung to you, or is it only, you know, the oration?
This is the first time I'd ever even heard of this, to be honest. And that's why I asked when I was speaking to Captain Paul. I said, "Are you sure this is the author?" And he goes, "Yes, I was aboard the ship when it was written, so I know who the author is." And I said, you know, and he goes, I'm pretty sure, and I don't want to misquote Captain Paul, but I'm pretty sure he said he is the last surviving person that was on that boat. So that's just a piece of, to me, that's a piece of history that, you know, is preserved now, thanks in part to obviously the author, but to Captain Paul and to yourself as well. So.
Well, this is where, you know, I'm so glad that you know, not just took the initiative, but you have the courage to share, to read it publicly. Many of us can read, but reading it aloud and reading to a public audience isn't something that we're comfortable. So thank you for sharing that. But then listening to it, reading it along as you know, were reading it out loud, it kind of reminds me of our national song, Miss Lita Rawshire's composition. Do you kind of see the similar sort of trait, as it were?
Yes, that love. Yeah, that, you know, it's funny. As I was reading it again, to your listeners, I was kind of having this feeling like it very is reminiscent of Miss Leila Rawshire's national song, which I love. Like every time we sing our national song, I can't help it moves me to tears.
It is my most favorite. I mean, I think national songs, national anthems in and of themselves are important, and some speak to triumph after war, or some conquest or other. Ours just speak to civility and sanity. It speaks to not just the sobriety of a society, but appreciation of the moment and a respect for what is and anticipation of what is to come. So as you shared this, a couple of things were also striking, if I may ask you, and others as well, because I think Christmas is that time when we, as a society, have a particular penchant to celebrate. It's the return of a seafaring fathers and brothers and uncles and the men, you know, who were absent in many cases for the longest of times, right?
Yes, sir.
But it also reminds me of how important, not unlike Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, why we in Cayman should ensure that celebration that we have of yesteryear, where that ensuing period just before Christmas and right after New Year's, that we do it nationally, and we are allowing it to be like everything, because it's so unique to Caymanian, to be forgotten. So this brings us back then. But there was another thing, the name of the plane, the notion that it's in your mind, and I'm not an aviator, but what kind of plane do you think this was? A jumbo jet? Despite the fact that it was 1947, 1948 that it was penned, but what's the plane like to you? Is it a seaplane? Is it a supersonic Concorde?
Yeah, the way I'm reading it, and I didn't actually discuss the plane with Captain Paul. He might know a bit more, obviously. But when he says, like, your plane soon takes the water, like, I sit there and go, well, what the engine ceased to drone, the time is just 12:50 in the afternoon. When it talks about listening to the roar of the people cheering along the shore, I sit there and go, the plane is landing and people are on the shore watching this plane land. So it's a very different visual than when I was growing up. We would go to the airport, see the people disembarking. We weren't doing that from shore now, were we?
No.
And I very much miss that ability to see people disembarking or boarding their planes and saying your hellos and your goodbyes.
Right.
It was a much more, I don't want to use the word accessible, but people, there were so many little connections that could be made between getting on and off of a plane, back then, that now you just see them walk through a door and you don't get to see or hear from them maybe until like they're connected to their internet or something.
Yeah. Well, it's much that to unpack, and this is where I love literature, poetry in particular, but anything that is that nature. I'm not going to belabor it, and if you wish to have increased and added discussion as I look beyond the vista and see your wonderful Anita, I'll get into prose a little bit later. What else, Ms. Torrey, would you want to share? We can do the break, I think, and continue to chat after, but if you wish to move on to your schedule endeavors, I shan't, retain you any longer.
Well, you are absolutely I'm so grateful to you for allowing this opportunity. I would want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and remind people on the roads to have patience and to have grace for everybody, because we're all trying to get somewhere. And to remember that our children are watching how we drive. They're watching how we react. And just to remember that the reason for Christmas is for the birth of Christ, and just to remember the traditions and the customs that we have in the Cayman Islands, and that we can show respect to our neighbors and be kind and be humble.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Torrey. Have a wonderful, blessed,
You too. Thank you so much, Dwayne. We really appreciate the opportunity to share this. You have a very Merry Christmas and a safe day, okay?
Thank you. You do the same.
Take care. Bye.
All the best. Well, what are we doing, Miss Susan? We're taking a break. Is that what we're saying? And then we're taking a WhatsApp call. Is that what's next? Whoa, it's going to be a great day. Stay tuned and join us right after.
December is here, but there's still time for that Miami trip before Christmas. Cayman Airways has added several extra flights from Grand Cayman to Miami, perfect for a weekend getaway and to catch that increased duty-free allowance for Cayman residents. But hurry, word is getting round, so those extra seats not going to last long. Book your Miami seats online at CaymanAirways.com or call them on 949-2311. All aboard Cayman Airways with extra flights to Miami before Christmas.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Get ready for a celebration under the stars this Sunday, December 8th. Join us for our annual Christmas at the Castle at Pedro Castle. From 6 to 9 p.m., bring your family and friends to the Great Lawn for an evening filled with holiday cheer. There will be Christmas carols, storytelling, a Christmas market, and a visit from Santa. Savor delicious local foods and drinks, win exciting raffle prizes, and be dazzled by performances from talented local artists. Admission is free. Don't miss this unforgettable night made possible by our amazing sponsors: Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority, Dart Enterprises, Savannah Community, Presidium Operations Unlimited, Kirk Freeport, Crown Party Rentals, and Rubis. Christmas at the Castle, Sunday, December 8th, 6 to 9 p.m., where the magic of the season comes to life. For more information, contact admin at pedrostjames.ky or call 947-3329.
Tis the season at Vigoro, and we've got all your festive favorites. From Christmas ornaments to decorations, succulents to ceramics. We've got gifts galore. Pots, blooms, orchids, garden accessories, furniture, even fairy gardens for the little ones. Make it a Vigoro Christmas with a gift that'll be treasured forever. Our Agricola location will be open Christmas Eve from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Merry Christmas from Vigoro.
Kay's Fine Jewelry, luxury with a family touch. This holiday season, make memories sparkle with Kay's Fine Jewelry. From diamond rings to their Caribbean-inspired turtle collection, find gifts as unique as our beautiful Cayman Islands. Enjoy a beverage with your holiday shopping and find out why Kay's Fine Jewelry is ranked #1 for shopping in the Caribbean. Take advantage of exclusive holiday discounts on engagement rings, men's jewelry, their iconic Flexi jewelry collection, or explore their luxurious watch selection featuring top brands like Hamilton and Rado. This holiday season, shop Kay's Fine Jewelry, where luxury meets the heart of the Caribbean. Kay's Fine Jewelry, located on Albert Panton Street, across from the House of Parliament.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back and thank you for joining us. It is Open Line, and I want to say a special thanks to the fantastic team at Radio Cayman. It's just amazing to see the great work that continues behind the scenes as much as you experience and enjoy on air with all of our programming, from our news and entertainment to the fantastic music. So it's great to be a public servant, and I think it's an honor and a calling, a duty, an obligation, but a true privilege and pleasure to be able to be a part of such a fantastic and dynamic group of people. So to all our public servants everywhere, continue to hold our heads high, whether we are appointed or elected, or whether we're permanent and pensionable, whether we are just contracted. Being able to serve your country, this is truly an honor. All right, got a couple of calls to take. We'll take the first one on our WhatsApp and then the second on the regular line right after. So let's go to the WhatsApp call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Sterling.
Hey, hi. How are you?
Good. You sound like a 5-year-old child waiting for Christmas Day to open your gifts.
I take that as a compliment. I like the excitement of life, the joy and appreciation.
Definitely.
Uh-huh.
Definitely. Yes. Mrs. Sterling, you got your turtle meat for the Christmas yet?
Thanks for reminding me. I need to call my sisters and brothers and see if they've engaged it. My role extends only to helping to pay for it. I don't have to worry about collecting it, the prepping it. I just got to eat it and enjoy it. So I got the easy part.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend went down this morning. Can you hear me?
Very much so, yes.
My girlfriend went down this morning to West Bay to try to get some turtle meat.
Mm-hmm.
And she got a ticket. Her ticket was number 14.
Mm-hmm.
And she waited until it was time for her to go to her job. And she was down there for almost 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And there was people down there said that they came there from 3 o'clock in their car sleeping to get a number to get this turtle meat. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that seems to be a system that many people are concerned about how it works, and perhaps we as a public don't quite fully understand, why it is and the like,
Well, Sterling, Sterling, for one thing, I know that Turtle Farm manager, owner, whoever knows that that's an eating situation here in Cayman during the Christmas holidays and any other holidays to a degree, or a birthday or something, if they might have a taste for it. But this is Christmas time. I didn't see anything on the media in regards to how the turtle meat will be going for sales for this month. And I feel it's only more than fair that whoever is in charge of that could have came out and say something to the people of this island, knowing that is our national dish. And a lot of people want to turtle meat for Christmas. So, like I said to you some time ago on the radio, why ain't they going to the eastern side certain days of the week for people up there who wants to buy turtle meat, that they don't have to come all the way to West Bay to look for turtle meat and come down and get a number 14 ticket or a 20 ticket, and then they're told the turtle meat is finished. See where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that it's the season for the holidays, people are looking turtle meat and they're being pushed around and can't guarantee that they're going to get turtle meat for the Christmas. So I'm just asking, what is Tim Adams doing for the turtle farm, for the people of this island to be able to get some turtle meat instead of coming there and don't have no guarantee that they're going to get it? And how many days of the week they're going to have turtle meat available for our people of these 3 islands? See where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This is a slap. Yeah. This is a slap in our face this time of year for turtle meat. And it's not just now. Apparently, people is having a problem through the whole year trying to get turtle meat. They're going down, they're spending hours, big numbers, and then they come to find out the turtle meat is finished. So we need Turtle Farm to come out with some media telling us how the turtle meat going to be done for the season. So when people go down there, they can guarantee they can get turtle meat. Or who's on the eastern side, they go up there with the nice coolers, have the meat already packed up, and let the people on the eastern side know, hey, we're going to be at the junction of north side. Come out and get your turtle meat. We got so much turtle meat, and you only allow, let's say, I don't know how the pounds go, 110 pound for today, and you got 15 other people, you sell them with the 15 people, they 10 pound, and if you come back next week, and you got 25 people who want turtle meat, you make sure you have sufficient turtle meat to help these people, because then sometimes not just one box of turtle meat is enough for one family, especially during the holidays.
Yeah. Well.
So I'm just asking Turtle Farm today to wake up and see how we can do this turtle meat for this Christmas, because my girlfriend called me highly upset, going all the way from Bordentown to West Bay and can't get no turtle meat. That is ridiculous. So I'll listen to you.
All right. Well, I will take it on board and maybe see what I can share. But thank you for that, as we will invite the other caller to share likewise. But thanks very much for that, Mom. Good points as always. Talk to you soon. Let's gotta take a break. All right, let's do that. You sure? Yeah. To the caller, stay on. You're gonna take the break as scheduled. Stay tuned, please.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
December is here, but there's still time for that Miami trip before Christmas. Cayman Airways has added several extra flights from Grand Cayman to Miami, perfect for a weekend getaway and to catch that increased duty-free allowance for Cayman residents. But hurry, word is getting round, so those extra seats not going to last long. Book your Miami seats online at CaymanAirways.com or call them on 949-2311. All aboard Cayman Airways with extra flights to Miami before Christmas.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
North Side, get ready to be pampered. At Genesis Unisex Beauty Salon and Barber, we're bringing style, color, and care to you. Right at Waterboys Plaza, Franksound Road, North Side, next to Caboose Restaurant. From cuts for men and boys to vibrant colors, braids, wig installations, locks and grooming, lash extensions, and more. Need a relaxing mani-pedi or custom acrylic nails? We've got you covered. Genesis Unisex is the only salon in Northside, and we're here to make you look and feel amazing. Book now at 323-9055. Find us on Facebook or Instagram, or email us at genesis77beautysalon@gmail.com. Special offers are happening now on pedicure, tip, and acrylic, relaxing, and more. So don't miss out. Genesis Unisex Beauty Salon and Barber, where North Side goes for beauty.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey report is now online. Interested in learning more about risk factors for non-communicable diseases in Cayman? How about gaining an understanding of the overall health of the nation? Whether you're into hard data or fun infographics, this report is for you. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. And before we take the next caller, I was gonna somewhere be in and guide the caller prior, but you always got to think to what extent. So to this listener who just ensure that we get the correct information. Reminds us that Mr. Tim Adam is in the managing director, the head over the Turtle Farm. Wonderful appointment recently for Mr. Christopher Jackson is now the head over there, for what it's worth. But still, if necessary, let's take the next call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling.
And to you, sir. How are you today?
Just fine, thank you. We can solve, Miss Jan, I think it is, our problem easily if we had the courage and wanted to. There's hundreds of thousands of green turtles off coast Honduras, as we know. Any Caymanians know this. I'm not telling you something that we all don't know. They're selling turtles here for $20, $25 for a whole turtle. Good? I know it. For a fact, and many Caymanians know it. And they can deny this if they want, but it is a fact. We can get, if they're going to sell it to people from China, Japan, and so forth, I don't see why we shouldn't be the ones to be get permission from their government. They're over there quite easily. We get it. They need money. They need US dollars. They need all the money, as we know. And bring the turtles here, and we can butcher them at the abattoir there, Turtle Farm, pay for it, little or nothing, and then, or something, going into the coffers, and then very sanitary, and then we can dispense the meat to the people. It can be done if we want to do it. We'd always have a supply of turtle meat, and we wouldn't have to use up the turtles here. Since we signed on to that, I won't bother to use the word Convention CITES thing, 1983. We had over 108,000 turtles here then. I knew for a fact I was there. Anyhow, that is as it is, and it's our national dish. But we don't want to let foreigners come in here know the importance of turtle in our life. It's what gave us our seafaring abilities, going turtling. Anyhow, that's what it is. We want to submit to their women fancy of everybody who comes here and say, we can't have life as we had it. We can't have the turtle meat. They've even suggested, I've heard foreigners suggesting that we stop eating turtle meat and so forth. And I don't want to go on with this because I just get angry if I keep talking about that. But that's a big solution to that problem. A big solution to it. It just takes courage to do this. And the Ridley turtle isn't endangered at all. There are tens of thousands of Ridley turtles in Costa Rica on the beaches. There are tens of thousands. I'm glad to hear about that conversation the young lady had with my cousin, Captain Paul. Often only call him nowadays on the phone. Now and then, I try to make it frequent and so forth. He is my father's first cousin, of course. My father is much older. I won't go into the whole history of everything, but always close and always person I love to talk with and can tell you a lot of things. He has a great memory. The poem that she was saying, did she say it was written in 1947 or 48?
Yeah, she said Campbell said it was either 47 or 48, and then
yes,
Truxton.
Jake McLaughlin. I think he was a Cayman Bracker.
I'm not sure that or East End, but
yes, he wrote the Sir Turtle thing, and at that time the aircraft here would have been the PBY Catalina, the seaplane, and she would land in the Sound. And strangely, you spoke about this Leela Ross and all that also. The boat that would tow her in and go and bring the people was Benny Ross's boat, the Bravo. The Bravo, which he was Miss Leila's son. You know, her mother was an Eden. Her mother was an Eden. Antoinette Nettie Eden, my mother called her. My mother remembered her. Those way older than my mother. But she remembered, because Nettie called her. She died in the early 1900s, I believe, or, a little bit later than the early 1900s. I mean, maybe 1920 or something like that. But Miss Leda Ross, of course, wrote that famous song, our national song, and wrote poems also on many things about a mosquito and all that, and songs. And a brilliant lady she was.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her. My mother used to take me to visit her, too. But sometimes I believe that the plane was towed up on the ramp, where that would be where the Scots Marina is now in the sound there, that marina. There's a ramp there. I believe she was hauled up there sometimes, maybe for maintenance or whatever, on that ramp, because they were fitted with undercarriage. And they were used greatly in, bomber detection, submarine detection during the Second World War. They could fly so slowly and so low with their huge wingspan, capable of flying at 45 miles an hour and so forth, and coming down. And they were very important with that. In fact, the great German battleship was spotted from one of them. We know that incident changed the course of history. If anyone who is interested and knows something about the Second World War would know what I'm saying is a fact. Was spotted from a PBY Catalina, I believe. But they were used, and even the first landings at the airport, I think, was with them. Then they converted to the Lodestar, Lockheed Lodestar plane. But that's a very interesting thing, and Captain Paul can give a lot of information on many things, many things. I had the privilege of reading his, a good summation of his seagoing exploits from the Southwell Years book by our cousin Consuelo on Radio Cayman some years ago. It is in 2 portions. I don't know how many people remember that, but anyhow, I just wanted to say this. Very important, and it's important for us to keep in mind and reminding people here of the great importance of turtles in our history, and we mustn't back down from that. And like I said, if we wanted to, we could push what I said and get those turtles back. We can bring them back here, buy them from them. If they're going to sell them to other people, why not sell them to us? Because I'm pretty sure that every Caymanian family has some family over in the Bay Islands. I'm pretty sure that every Caymanian name you can find over there.
Mm-hmm. It is as you shared, and hopefully we'll do it. With respect, sir, we're going to just pause and go to our news, but thank you for keeping the history alive as is here. Thank you very much. When we come back, we invite you to join us. Stay tuned.
Covering Ronnie Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Bragg.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. Corey Christopher Katu pleaded not guilty to bribery of a public officer. He allegedly gave a former DVDL employee $100 for a fake roadworthiness certificate. He's set for a trial on the 9th of June and remains on bail. In regional news, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the collapse of BICO and CLICO in 2009 resulted in an estimated loss of EC $290.12 million for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Finance Minister has outlined significant financial impacts and ongoing recovery efforts. In St. Kitts and Nevis, countries recorded a 19% drop in crime and a 66% decrease in firearm-related homicides just 90 days following a campaign. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew praised the unified community effort in tackling crime. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. It's 1-800-534-8255. It's 949-8037. 949-6990. Of course, you can WhatsApp call 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us. Well, you will be the next caller if you dial now. Susan is standing by in 949-8037. To our callers and who have shared their thoughts and just recently relative to turtle production and the supply of turtle meat, whether Christmas and New Year, we're cognizant of a number of things. The requisite personnel, not just with their skill sets to properly, take the meat and prep it so that we can have it, for our own enjoyment, but also the number of people who may be, skilled at doing that. Long are the days where we had that as a rated skill set. But it's also, interestingly enough, that for some of us, come Christmas and New Year, our preference may be one meat at that time and not any other time of the year. It may be that, for the turtle, for instance, it may be your sort of custom, your habit in your family or in your particular part of the district to have it, say, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day versus Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or vice versa. Whether it's the beef or the relatively, in the last 4 or 5 decades of the introduction of, say, ham and turtle, it's intriguing to see on Grand Cayman and across the wider Cayman Islands the culinary practices and expectations for some communities and families relative, to the just adjoining districts, much less what may happen on Jabrac or Little Cayman, can be very distinct from what is the practice on Grand Cayman. Makes us, a very, very wonderful, blend of people. So 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp call, message, or voice note, 925-3261. Thanks to the story earlier for reading that poem shared, with her by Captain Paul. Penned, as he said, in 1947 and 1948. Maybe you take out your spreadsheet or your calculator and start to think, how long ago was that? But as we listen to it, and as Mr. Mika just helped us to appreciate, the poetry sort of paints the picture that, there is a seaplane coming in and there are the expectant family with just very exuberant observers watching it land and take off. But as we think to the era, we recognize that the gold field should easily come to mind has been that life sort of line as ably recorded by Mr. Dexter Borden in his song. So here we have our life story, our history, our customs, and no different than other, sort of places where they do it similarly. We too as well, and yet we don't celebrate, respect, recognize, recall, and remember, those individuals. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Hi, doing good afternoon.
Good to hear from you. How are you today?
I'm doing good, thank you. Happy Friday. I can't see you because I'm listening on the app. I finally downloaded Radio Cayman's app.
It's a wonderful app, huh?
Do you have on your orange T-shirt today?
No. Today we went with the Cayman Blue. I think. Yeah, I call it so.
Yes, today is the official day. You're supposed to wear orange in recognition of the 16 days of activism against gender-based domestic violence.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were in yours, right?
I thought you got the memo.
I thank you for that public acknowledgement, and for me, just like the country song "Let It Be Christmas Every Day," the spirit that embodies, I try to celebrate every day, and any sort of not just activism, but ensure that we are sensitive to violence in itself. Should be a daily occurrence. So just like we dedicate a month to our seniors, we have a month to our children. We should be very, very, very much engaged in ensuring that we have a safe society where people are free from harm, abuse, neglect, and bullying, and all those things that may come in all manners of evil.
Yeah, I wanted to just call. I sent through the link that came out from government a little while ago, where it indicates that the government has issued the writs for elections.
Yeah. Yes.
I haven't gotten a chance to read them myself, but I just wanted to publicly say to you and to the public, the listening audience, so people can go onto the government's website and try to download those and know what's going on, because they're very.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you remind us. Our news team also had that as a feature at the 12 o'clock news.
Okay.
That was issued. There was the press release sent out. We did report it again as recent as the midday news earlier.
Okay, that sounds good. I missed all that, so I'll leave that with you. Hear what's going on and call back if I need to.
You're most welcome. And when you do, and if not now, certainly at any point, I want you to weigh in on what you see as a political landscape, not just what you would like from their political candidates, but perhaps what you're hoping and expecting and maybe championing. It's important, not just as we go into an election. Our news indicated how many 100 and how many days. Let's say I didn't stick it in my memory bank, but we're April 30th, and today is the 6th of December. All right, so you talk to us when you're ready. All right. Okay. Seems that caller has somehow blown in the wind. All right, 949-837, 949-6990. WhatsApp call 925-3261. But with that, callers very sobering reminder that the writs for upcoming general elections now, a formal process has been initiated. We'll see a number of things that will transpire. There are many who are saying, who's going to be their candidates and why are they waiting so long? Well, like cruise tourism or anything else, we should look at quality not quantity. It's like a good meal. You can sit down and enjoy the best meal is just but a morsel because of the people you're with and the setting, the ambience, the love that the food is prepared with. You don't need much. You could have Miss Susan, she's directing me and I don't like cameras, but thank you very much, Mom. You could have someone who has seated himself or herself to a feast, and every bite is worse than the one prior, but because it's a lot, you think it's good. Not always the case. Not always the case. 949-8037, 949-6990. And perhaps we will ask you, and the last caller prior may have had a bit of a challenge to hear us. So hopefully if you having that same or similar experience, let us know. 949-8037, 949-6990. And follow Miss Susan because she only leads you astray when it's necessary. No, that's kid. Want us to take a little quick break, get things set and sober, and let's come back and join us right after.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP. Following the 1932 hurricane, like most young men growing up in Cayman in that era, the call of the sea was heard more strongly than any other. Keith Tibbetts Sr. of Cayman Brac was no different. After assisting with the rebuilding of the family home, resurrecting the family car, and helping other relatives and the community rebuild, he built and sold several catboats before going to Jamaica to seek employment as a seaman, and his long distinguished career got started on September 25th, 1935, when he stepped on board the schooner Admiral Sturdy, which his father built and was later sold to the Colonel family. A year later, he joined the Canadian banana boat Lady Somers in Canada. During his seagoing year, he visited several ports in England and made 11 trips around the continent of Africa, including a distinguished military career. This was part 3 of a special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line, no more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
December is here, but there's still time for that Miami trip before Christmas. Cayman Airways has added several extra flights from Grand Cayman to Miami, perfect for a weekend getaway and to catch that increased duty-free allowance for Cayman residents. But hurry, word is getting round, so those extra seats not going last long. Book your Miami seats online at CaymanAirways.com or call them on 949-2311. All aboard Cayman Airways with extra flights to Miami before Christmas.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The Chickens have built Cayman's first digital currency investment platform, Chickstarter. Powered by Massive Media, Chickstarter is a satirical business incubator raising money for local charities. Sign up for free now at chickstarter.ky and invest your 10,000 Chick coin in the special projects, each raising money for different local charities. 10 people will be randomly selected to receive a month's supply of local farm produce from Farmer Clearance as well. Full details and fun at chickstarter.ky. That's CHICKSTARTER.ky. Sign up and play for free today.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza winners.
Ticket number 04220 is the grand prize winner of $40,000 for the 29th annual Rotary Central Music Extravaganza held at Salty's Harbor Grill, Red Bay, Saturday, November 30th. Ticket number 03694 is the second prize winner of $4,000. 6 third prize winners of $1,000 each are tickets number 08782, 04531, 05093, 02085, 03608, and 03002. For further details, go to Rotary Central Cayman Islands Facebook page and Rotary Central Cayman Islands Instagram page. Rotary Central, supporting more than 28 projects important to our community.
Kirk Freeport's annual $40,000 Christmas sweepstakes is back once again. Simply spend $100 at your favorite Kirk Freeport store to enter to win one of 3 $5,000 cash prizes, one of 5 $1,000 cash prizes, and loads of other great prizes throughout December. And of course, the one you're all waiting for, the Rolex watch prize draw for all entries will be held on January 3rd. All purchases of $100 at any Kirk Freeport store before noon on Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. Full details on kirkfreeport.com. Merry Christmas from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
Reflections annual countdown to Christmas sale is on now. Ladies, save 50 to 75% off selected fashion clothing, selected Adidas, Puma, and Nike sneakers discounted from 25 to 50% off. Make your gift giving super easy this year by getting Reflections gift certificates for everyone on your list. Converse kicks starting at $25 and bargains galore throughout the store. Guys, cargo pants, big and tall, $5.50. Levi's and selected Docker pants, 25% off. Every purchase above $49 at Reflections gives you the opportunity to win 2 free tickets to any Cayman Airways destination of your choice. Open Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Shop Reflections on Shen Road beside the Mango Tree.
See yourself in Reflections. Reflections, always driving down prices.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thank you for joining us. It is open line, 20 past 1 on this fantastic Friday afternoon as we invite you to be the call now. 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp call if you want, 925-3261. The same number you can send us a voice note, you can send us a message, however you choose. Or you can use the Flow toll-free line at 1-800-534-8255. Or, just call and share your thoughts, man. We want to hear from you as we take this next call. Welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Hey, Lord Sergeant, how you doing today?
Oh, man. I'm making a good day better. Very thankful. How about yourself?
Man, I'm telling you, the Christmas season, it brings back good memories, I'm telling you, boy.
It does indeed, man. It does indeed.
Speaking about poetry and art and all that sort of stuff, I met American Santa and his wife a couple years ago, and I had my little because I like to take my little book with me sometimes and write poetry and do little different things, songs and stuff like that. So I so happened I was a little spiritual that day, and I guess the lady's name right. They were tourists, and I told the man, I said, "But sir, you look a lot like Santa." He said, "I am Santa," and he proved it too.
Yeah. What did he do?
Yeah, he pulled out his phone and he showed me evidence that he was Santa and she was Santa's wife. That and they took some pictures of my poem, and he said that he would publish it. They had a production company, and I don't know. It went well. He said he would publish it in somewhere in the States. But it was, I mean, it was a very good experience. I mean,
Well, I'm happy for you, because as you were saying that, I was thinking to the Buck Owens song, what? Dada looks a lot like Santa, and Santa looks a lot like him. And he has a conversation you need to have with your mama. There's something going on there.
Yeah, and I still got I think I still got the poem. But it would be sad to know, like, you know, sometimes if, you know, people are talking about, you know, who's the owner of these poems and where was, you know, the originators and all that sort of stuff. So it would be sad if I lost my copy. I think I still got it.
I hope you do, man.
And they got it. But my name was signed there because you took pictures of the poem and stuff like that. And that was around, I don't remember. I think it was around Christmas time, you know. I think so. A couple of years ago.
It would be interesting, you know, if he was actually a Santa. I mean.
Yeah. He showed me all the evidence, and her name was that was her name too. I guess her name, right? Sometimes I do it. I don't know. I must be a gypsy. They said they had Caymanian gypsies, so I must be.
You're John will call, man. He will guide you.
Yeah. So sometimes I do, you know, little things that you won't believe and stuff like that. But anyway.
Yeah, man. It is a small world indeed, you know. And maybe the beauty of life sometimes is being able to live, love, and laugh, and look at it through the lens of our little lads who oftentimes, you know, only become corrupted because we as the adults have become either so inept or worse yet, you know, so imbued with such arrogance that we no longer insist on, you know, sense and sensibilities. So it's good to hear from you, man, that you see things through that lens at times.
Yeah, spirituality above most. I mean, that's got to be, and you gotta put the higher powers first, and you shall be on the right track.
That's right, man. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, my friend. And I appreciate you sharing, because I'm mindful that many a day there are very few who don't go astray, who yet, you know, despite their work, they find little time to play, and even when they do, they forget, you know, and to appreciate, you know, what it is that they actually do, you know. And for us, we don't see it. We don't see the toil and the troubles, the trials or tribulations that many may have, but we expect them to always be present and accounted for, you know. So thanks for giving us that perspective, my friend.
Well, Mr. Sterling, one thing too, you know, we got to protect, speaking about that, and lost poems and the owners of poems and all songs and all that, we got to protect, you know, our products, you know.
But this is it, you know. I'll say this, and perhaps it may offend some, perhaps it may actually cause some to do something they haven't done in a long time, engage their grey matter. Think for a second. A number of decades ago, I asked the question of people that I thought, both because of my incredible unending love and respect for them, but also the positions of authority they occupied, whether it's elected or appointed, whether it's public or private sector. Why didn't we then, and why don't we still, if possible, ensure a couple of things? The symbols, the names of our vessels, the things that are uniquely Caymanian. Why doesn't the government take ownership of them, so that, like, and I don't fully understand this, but if you want something to be called a royal something, whether that's the Danish, the Dutch, or the British, it has to be licensed, right?
And speaking of royal, I got to tell you a story now that the elderly man told me when I was very, very young. He was telling me a story. Now there's some royal names in it, and I'm going to give you a bit of information now that might shock you. And he was telling me, he said he used the name Ebanks. He was telling me, he said, because he was an Ebanks, he died now. older, quite an old young man.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me a story about the shipwrecked people and his grandfather, his elders and all that, and the royal name, Ebanks, and we like to have royal talks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so checking history about certain Caymanian names and see what you find about that too, Lord Sterling. So I like to call you Lord Sterling,
I would probably won't allow you to do that as much as I would discourage you from doing so, but I appreciate, the wonderfulness that is you, man. Thank you for that, right?
Right.
All right. Have a good afternoon. We'll talk to you whenever you wish. All the best. All right. 949-8037. We got a call, Miss Susan. Is that what I'm hearing? What? She says I'm a sing? What? No, I don't think so. 8949-8037 or 949-6990. You can call the toll-free line if it's accessible to you. It's 1-800-534-8255. You can WhatsApp message, or you can WhatsApp call 925-32621 and share your thoughts with us. As Mr. Brown was just sharing, I was just thinking, how we look at life sometimes, and how for some of us, even with that effort, we only see the negative. It's just maybe our experience has soured our outlook. We become apathetic and sadly despondent, with some despair. We're constantly disappointed. And then there are those for whom we look at them and a smile is evident everywhere. Their eyes, have that gleam of that young child, whether they care, or as our parents would say, they're a child. And yet for some, there is an effort to do that despite, and in spite of what we have been facing or are facing. And the recognition is that life comes at you fast, and it is not always as you asked or expected, but perhaps be mindful that it is not as sometimes we are deserving. We get things that are more and much better than we deserve, and there are times when things are not as we wish, pray for, or ask. We wonder, how can we endure? Well, be mindful. Scripture says, good Lord will give you no more than you can bear. Let's take this call. Welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, Sterling. Good afternoon. Dominic Ebanks here. How you doing?
Tom, it's good to hear from you, man. How are you today, man?
Ain't it better? I couldn't stand it.
Well, we'll give you 2 chairs so you can enjoy it even more.
I'm sitting in a nice one right now anyway, but thank you for the general offer again.
All right, well, let's do treat.
Yeah, so I figure you were giving me all this free time on the radio, so why not take the opportunity,
Yeah, because come, nomination day, happy for you.
Of course.
Hey, what's life with a laughter, my friend?
Yeah, what it is. Yeah, your last caller to make a little humor to on the start.
Always appreciate him. Always though.
Yeah, certainly. Sterling, I just called to talk a little bit about, obviously we're going through suppose that been our busy tourism season, right?
Mm.
And I guess it sort of looked like it wanted to, resuscitate, but it sort of cleaned back off how it was. Because, we have another talk about, building a new port and the problems that are slowing down especially with cruise tourism, it doesn't affect most of our, I would say between 2022 and 2023 was a very slow period, and then you have 2023 now through your 2024 period that is a little bit better but still very slow.
Mm.
And when you look back prior to when we first opened up right after COVID 2021 into that 2022 period, we found where it was extremely very good. So it almost like when we ended off in 2020 in the 2019-2020 period, it was doing extremely very well, the cruise tourism, because that's what we're talking. And then COVID came, slowed it down. Then we opened back again in 2021, really sort of, when ships started coming back to the 2022 period. And, we find where that period was a very busy and strong period. Now, from an analysis standpoint, I put down all the numbers and not to speak just based on a guessing game, but real proper analysis of more likely what took place and caused the drop in these two last periods that we had versus the first one. And when I review the analysis, I see where, and before I give that, obviously we hear it saying that, the cruise companies don't want to come here no more, et cetera, and that's the reason we have seen this down drop. But the reality of the down drop, when the analysis comes up, it shows us that we did get the proper amount of calls to our port, or should have gotten the proper amount of calls to our port, but due to bad weather, those calls weren't made. And basically, of course, we lost out on that revenue. Now, if you put all of those back into play and we accepted and have achieved all of those port of calls, our cruise tourism industry would have been showing very well performed, but of course now that it takes this dip, it's a perfect excuse to say, hey, we need a cruise port because we need bigger ships, and that's the reason that we have less ships. Because even right now, many taxi drivers, bus operators, those water sport operators, obviously they're feeling it pretty much more than, include the shops too that depend on them, are definitely feeling this bite to their pocket, especially around this time when things should be flourishing. And so I was just bringing that up as a point, because if you look at the fact that we are blaming it on the fact that we're not getting the business, even if we did build a bigger port, just saying, to hold 8 giant cruise ships out there, if that weather is bad, it ain't nobody coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just pause there, because now, and I'm saying that I'm not disagreeing that we to have a new port beat for cargo or cruise, whatever, how big and all that kind of stuff and where to put it.
Mm-hmm.
That will come to terms. And of course, Cayman obviously needs to develop. It's just that we have taken in such a huge number of dependents that now we have to develop at a much faster speed. And
let me ask if you are willing and so inclined, right? Because we have many discussions at times, and a lot is said and nothing of value comes out, or people are unwilling, right? I know thankfully you were very candid and forthright. When it comes to the cruise in particular, right? The tourism aspect of cruise, and then the port development, as specific as you wish. What's your view on cruise tourism? Beneficial? Do we expand it and have more numbers and larger ships? Or what's your take?
Well, whether you're taking the larger ships or not, just having the infrastructure to be able to accommodate is really your key, right? So it doesn't mean you can have this port that can accommodate. You're only still taking calls from smaller ships, because your internal infrastructure cannot handle the load at the time. So, here you go ahead and, let's say you're being retroactive rather than proactive, because, and I'll get back to that in a minute. So you go build this big port that can hold monster ships, but we only take in small ships because our internal infrastructure can't handle the load, right? And as the internal infrastructure develops to match the other one, then it keeps growing.
Right.
Or like how we have did it over the while, you can see we build more roads, wider roads, more lanes, more accommodation. The port is much smaller, but when you look at it from a standpoint, all of a sudden our roads have gotten extremely busy too. So, because you've taken in more people. So if you build that cruise port bigger and your demand for labor and all that stuff, you got to bring in more people again, and everything keeps traffic. It just keeps going up. So that's just a viewpoint of it. But I am very much for the fact that there's money to be made from cruise. We don't maximize it. When you look at taxi operators right now, you see that they feel a pinch from the fact that you figure, well, I can get a taxi as a Caymanian, go out there because you're a Caymanian, but now you have twice as many Caymanians because we've made new Caymanians instead of having them, right?
But this is, as you share that, there two things I want to ask you. But let's start with the first one, right? You talked about as a Caymanian you get a taxi, or let's just say extension or tour bus. there are a number of Caymanians, my classmates, family, friends of family, a number who have shared over the years that despite the large number of cruise passengers that are in port, some days they don't make $100, right? But also, some have alleged that there are people on a permit who not only have one bus or one taxi, have multiple. And yet we hear, well, the driver could be a work permit holder, but the owner has to be Caymanian or some say permanent resident. It's not whether that should be the case or not. It seems to be that there's some confusion, and seems to be some contention as to there needs to be clarity and comprehension on how the system should operate. And then it comes back to that question that is often asked, tends to be inflammatory, rarely answered, often insults people who hear it, for whom we will be developing. How is this construction, because perhaps it's not development, this expansion, because perhaps it's not proper growth, how is it benefiting the country? The government revenues, if you said each thing leads to an increase in the cost of the provision of the government services, the demand on government services, the demand on infrastructure, and then how is it benefiting not just the country and the government's revenue, but the Caymanians themselves? Are these questions that we're unwilling to ask, much less seek answers?
Well, Sterling, at the end of the day, let's say you decided, or if you didn't have a government salaries to pay, right? You would have a lot less expense, right? But then you wouldn't have all of these wonderful necessities that we need, your hospitals and so forth, right? But as we see government keep increasing salaries, giving out bonuses, as you call it, more benefits, the government, as they say, with a bigger stomach, you need a bigger mouth then, and of course that bigger mouth needs bigger food. So in this case, some people go get their stomach tied off and they start eating a bit less and they lose a bit of weight. Now, I'm not saying you go in and start cutting, government salaries, because the first salaries you'd have to cut then is all the politicians, that if, you get elected and you can't work for a smaller salary, then it doesn't make sense, right? But at the end of the day, you're not going to find anybody willing to cut out that point. The thing is, the bigger our government goes, the more of these services we need, whether it's the tourism or the banking industry. And of course, this development that we got here, when this first started, the intention and the foresight, and at that time, a lot of this was, I don't want to put all the praise on any one politician, but over the years, as politicians came and went and helped build and continued on, even though it shifted left or right as it went along, we have seen our country develop, but in the last few decades, it's taken off at a real rapid pace. And of course, we have an opportunity too, even right now, to make money off of our current system. I mean, we are giving out concessions when things are being built, which, all right, let's say you had to give out concessions to get, get the businesses here, if you want to use that term, right? That's what it was supposed to be used for. But now that you got the businesses here, you're now supposed, and I got to stay away from that TAX word, but you are now in the position now to implement additional fees onto these businesses to make back up for the concessions in which you gave plus some, right? And that's the word we're going to use, enforcement, because even though that may be already there, there's no enforcement for it. There's nobody, and enforcement can't come from one politician. One man do run this island, right? So at the end of the day, when you table a bill and it got to be passed, it takes more than you alone to vote for it in a democratic society like ours.
Well, they wouldn't table a bill. I mean, they would introduce it for debate, and then hopefully, with the numbers, they would pass it. But I take your point. But go ahead. I don't want to interject or seem like correct. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, so basically, if you had the support for it, but right now, again, we're not seeing the support in the House, and if you find the support there where the bills have gone through, the legislation itself has been passed on down into the civil service section, so you as a politician really don't have no control of the real outcome of it. And when you try to, slither down there like a good old snake to try to, make sure the objective is met, you could find yourself, crossing that boundary and in bigger problems. But again, even them themselves, we see them tabling bills and they try and table 10 and 20 and can be focused on one. So it's like, you have to be passionate about it. If you're going to get this change made, not only shadow over your chief officers or whoever will be shadowing over the next one to make sure that it constantly getting done and the objectives are being made, not only from inside the House but from the outside as well.
Right.
You find that some people fall short of that enforcement, like I say, because right now you can drive on West Bay Road, and I tell you the truth, I might see a lot of trucks carrying 20-foot pieces of lumber sticking out the front and the back that they shouldn't be taking, like that, vehicles overloaded, etc., people speeding, and you hardly see the police, right? And in a time like this, we don't need to see the police. The cameras could be up there just emailing you your ticket as you go along. If you want 10 of them from the day, we'll go ahead and get them, right? But this is where we cut off. So the same thing is happening with those sectors. We have developed all of this stuff, and the enforcement to go back now and charge them some kind of fee to get back, not only a concession. So whether you gave them concessions or not, still implement fees on them that they got to contribute more.
Right.
And not necessarily growing your government any bigger anyway, because all of a sudden now unemployment goes up. Well, we got a good idea. Let's just employ most of them now to get rid of that shadow. Now your government got bigger, your stomach got bigger, you got more to feed, and now you need more revenue.
Right.
That's what's really been happening,
It's a vicious cycle. I mean, as much as you said, I would love to engage you, but I want to, before we take the break, I want to ask you. We have a decision to make, right? So let's go on that premise. We got to put the port somewhere, and there's a cruise port, there's a cargo port. So the question goes like this: where would you put the cruise port and the cargo port? If it's the one and the same or there's two separate things, where would you put it? You're the man to make that decision. Where would you put it, or give strong consideration to its location?
Well, I don't think they need to put the two of them in the same place. In my opinion, you could just build a new cargo port and scale it down. It doesn't have to be that big. Like we got that much cargo coming in, or will have that much cargo coming in. Now, if the cruise system was set up different, because in my personal opinion, there should have never been one ideal location. There should have been one built there in front of Georgetown, another one built right there in West Bay, and that tip of West Point stretching straight out to that drop off. You didn't need to do nothing more than build a big pier. The ship can even anchor up, dock up right there.
This is for the cruise ships, right?
Right.
Okay.
So you got one there. You also put one in Easton if you want. You spread it out, right? And the ships come in. If the bad weather is in Easton and bad weather in this area, then they all end up in one other side, just like you do with South Sound. But we got this idea of sort of consolidating into this one monstrous port, because maybe 3 or 4 ports cost so much money. It's hard to keep an eye on so much projects at one time. But currently, if you build them one at a time, let's just say you put enough first one down in West Bay off of that Northwest Point Peninsula right there, I'm quite sure all of a sudden the Turtle Farm will have a lot more customers, because now they're not going to take 45 minutes to 2 hours to get down there. You just off, you go straight to the Turtle Farm. You can spend your hour or two there. You still got time left. The buses can pick you up and quickly drive you now to West Bay Road and drop you off at the boats. Going out, did your trip. You even got time now to come back and maybe you do a little shopping. But having everybody crammed up in that Georgetown, because you have certain people that's got certain duty-free businesses and stuff up in there that they depend on it so heavy. I don't even know why they get duty-free concessions for. They should be charged duty on those things as far as I'm concerned, because they're not cheap stuff that they're giving you there, right? Whatever it was created for back in the day about duty-free, we didn't need it at some point in time. They could have, charged these people out of duty in government, and we would have made more money from that too. But it is what it is. But like I said, that's just my view on it. As far as where the engineers and the last proposal that the tourism minister had them do, they gave, I think, like 3 or 4 or 5 locations.
Right. So
and even them wasn't even too sure, because they were so focused on the word reclaiming land, right? versus, and then the last part was, since it's going so further up in the higher part of the land towards the east, you would have to scrape down the inner land in order to bring the ships in there, all kinds of stuff. And, you know, and that's going to have a playoff too, you know what I mean?
Right. So with the cargo, where would you put the cargo?
Well, I mean, right now, let's say you move the cargo from where it is in Georgetown and left all that of its crews, so you can appease those duty-free stores. And even if you spend a little extra money and built a pier down on the Northwest Point Peninsula, your first pier now houses another port for a cruise ship or two to come in. And all of a sudden now you would have to move your cargo maybe up to spots where the spots would be or somewhere around that area. You know, that's not far from the ocean. It wouldn't be hard to build another port right out there. But, you know, people believe the south side was the next option versus the north, right? Because it's only the sandbar and all that stuff that we have to lose.
Right. Well, I appreciate it. I think what you're sharing is that we need to have more and more public information and discussion before we do something that is perhaps irreversible financially and environmentally. Thank you very much, all right?
Yes, John, and thank you for the time too. And
always, man.
Hope everybody have a safe weekend and enjoy yourself.
All right, you do as well, and hopefully talk to you as soon as you can, man. But that will pause. When we come back, we invite you to share your thoughts.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
December is here, but there's still time for that Miami trip before Christmas. Cayman Airways has added several extra flights from Grand Cayman to Miami, perfect for a weekend getaway and to catch that increased duty-free allowance for Cayman residents. But hurry, word is getting round, so those extra seats not going to last long. Book your Miami seats online at CaymanAirways.com or call them on 949-2311. All aboard Cayman Airways with extra flights to Miami before Christmas.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey report is now online. Interested in learning more about risk factors for non-communicable diseases in Cayman? How about gaining an understanding of the overall health of the nation? Whether you're into hard data or fun infographics, this report is for you. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning.
Ouch!
When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Open Line. What a Friday that we are enjoying things together. 949-837. If I can only, unlike the country song, if I only make it through December, I was going to say, if I can only get Susan, I almost called my daughter's name, to join me there. What do you think, Miss Susan? You want to play Early Christmas and say hello to the listeners? And they might confuse them. They might think it's Susan in the morning. Hey, it's Susan in the time. I was going to say to you, right? We have the beautiful part that is we're nearing the festivities of Christmas, and many organizations are having celebrations, from the Christmas parties of the offices to the churches putting on their Christmas programs to the schools. What is your favorite, most treasured memory of Christmas of yesteryear?
Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, Sterling.
Buenas tardes.
I know you wanted to get me on. Only at Christmas time I come on with you.
I listen, I would misbehave, but some people would see right through it, so let me not.
I think growing up in Cayman Brac,
Mm-hmm.
we would back the sand, weeks before Christmas Day, and then we would pile them up, and then we would spread them with the rosemary broom. And once that was spread, you couldn't walk through that, just so you know.
No. You know what my brother told me? If you walk through the freshly raked sand yard, but if you walk backwards, you would not leaving the footprints. Is that true? I had believed that. Let me ask, because that is a tradition that I wish we did, and even in later years when we tried to keep it alive, there were challenges. Not getting people to go and get the sand, but challenges actually accessing places to get sand. It wasn't that you were trying to get enough to plaster your house or lay your blocks. You just wanted a little bit of spread in your yard, and traditions like that have somehow just been taken away, not just passed away. And I wonder if there were any attempts to maintain that, how that would be met by the wider public, Caymanians included.
Right. No, today you cannot do that.
Well, you can, 2 buckets?
No.
Or you can't find any sand at all. And like my cousins say, the sand they put on the beach. Was there a particular place on the Brac that the sand was just cleaner, better, whiter? You just had to get it from there because nowhere else was the same?
Well, I was from the area called the Bight, which is close to Watering Place, but we call it spot sand.
Okay.
And so I would say, I was more prone to back sand in the area where I lived. Now, we wouldn't normally go and back sand from the other areas. Right. But, the Bight area. Yeah. You get all the sand I need.
You didn't get a truckload. You just got a couple of buckets.
Just a few baskets.
Was even then it was a ground basket, right?
Yeah, and then you would wake up and get that good old moonlight and back the sand early in the morning. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I wonder.
Those are some memories I will never forget.
And I appreciate that. And for this, it isn't just that the memories should live on, within, our practices and traditions. And there are times when those things are no longer possible, but at least be shared with people. In your view, I know the callers are anxious to share with us, and we will do that, but in your view, for those who know otherwise or have heard differently, was that sand, a clean, white, pretty beach sand, intended to replicate snow? Or was it that they just want a clean, shiny, brand new yard, as it were? Because lots of the yards then weren't, not were they not gravel, they were not grass. Yeah, it was sand yards.
Yeah. We do have a caller.
We do?
Yes.
See what your luck brings? Just like Marla. Let's go to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Sterling Green.
Hey, thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you.
Just a call back. It was wonderful to hear Susan, wonderful radio voice.
Listen, say that again. Tell her that.
About that. It applies to both the back and over here in Cayman, too.
Right.
To do that. But what I just like to say is regards, because it's important, regards to the cruise tourism thing, there's one sort of illusion that everybody labors under. Is that when they say the ships are there with 7,000 people for the day, 6,000 people, a small portion of those passengers disembark. What you're talking about is a manifested quantity. And that's what the government charges off of per head. You understand what I'm saying? That makes a big difference to the perception that we get when we're saying it. The reality is that many are not coming off. I've been involved in it now directly. Sterling Dwayne for nearly 20 years now with cruise. What we are seeing over the last several years are elderly people. I can tell you this. They're not comfortable with getting off on tendering. They're not. Not. I don't care what anyone wants to say. I'm going to put my head on the chopping block. Because like I say, no time left for being afraid. It's time for courage. The young man was saying, and he gave a good dissertation on many things, that you're afraid of that TX word and call it fee tax. Same thing. Just that fees are usually a set amount. Taxes can vary in percentages. You wouldn't want a guy paying the same duty on a $10,000 car as a $100,000 car. You get what I'm saying? Percentages. Good with taxes. That's how we usually refer to those things, but it's a tax. No government can operate without taxes. It's impossible. That's what funds government. The point I'm making is this. These ships, we call them smaller ships. They're giants. They're over 1,000 foot long. 3 of them lined up. You can't see Georgetown or even the point Brown Jackson. But you can't see nothing. The big 10-story building in Georgetown, when you look at it from West Bay, and you know that, you're a bear. They look like sheds. Those big they look like boat sheds compared to those cruise ships. Many are 1,000-footers. Good. They're giants. And the people would rather to come off on a pier. Georgetown is not the best place. We know for it, but we are at a point where we don't have a choice. Right? We don't have a choice. West Bay, there we can pour off, and I've said it, and others who are much more experienced in construction than I am, have said it. You can pour off a 2,000 feet of concrete there. It's much cheaper. There's very little dredging out there. It's deep water out there. Vicksville or Goat Rock, I mean. Vicksville, those Caymanians call it. And you can pour that off and they can come in. They don't have to dock the whole length of the ships. You know, a good 800-900 feet of it can dock a 2,000 and then 2 of them there and go out. And you can have something there in the proper place is Red Bay, as we all know. Any Caymanian mariner knows that. There are a lot of hiccups, more sense than I have. But the reality is what exists right now, and that's what we got to do. Build a pier, and the people can come off. The first thing you hear, and anyone in the cruise ship business can tell you this, we have got to get back the last 10 that are leaving now. They'd shop more. They'd spend more time in the shops. They'd spend more time in everywhere on tours and so forth. But they have to rush them and get back. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you this. I see it daily, and that's a big aspect of what goes against this business of tendering. And people make a lot of money out of the tendering. We know that. Bully for them, good for them. Everybody needs to make money. But I'm telling you this. If we don't build those piers, we've got to consider the next step, which is a lot of people will be out of work. A lot of people close down their little businesses. And a lot of people we're saying, a lot of people have been brought in and doing this and foreigners running tours and whatever. You want to see it. But they'll have to go back home and that's it. So we have to tell them the alternative. Those who are against building the piers, we'll have to explain to people the alternative, what they have in mind. I'm talking about retooling 50 and 60-year-old people to do another job about handling computers and that. That's bunkum. I say it right now on the radio. I don't care if it costs me my job. That's all bunkum. Wait, you're in the tourism business. That's what you know. You know how to talk to people. It can take you years and years to really achieve that and see what the people need and want. But we have to come to that realization that this is what obtains, and we've got to do it, whether right or wrong, we build it. And Georgetown, the cargo, we're now handling is about 50 times what it was 50 years ago. Try and check out those who are in charge of that port and see what I'm talking about. You're not talking about building a port, you're talking about building a pier and building a good cargo pier. You got to do it. Those ships are many times bigger now than the ships. I'm talking the cargo ships that used to come here. I remember them very well 50-odd years ago, the Cork Chief being the largest vessel on harbour transport with it. Those are baby things. You could put them on the deck of the big seaboard vessel now.
Yes, sir. Mr. Vicker, we have the news break. Did you want to stay on and join us after, or you want to call back at your convenience? All right. Not quite sure. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Vicker. We're not dismissing you, but if you are able to call back or hold on, we'll join you after. If not, we'll take the news, so stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. Karen Watson, who was acquitted of misconduct in public office charge earlier this week, has had another case against her drop. The DPP decided not to file any evidence against her for unlawful obtaining of information due to insufficient evidence. Ms. Watson is also expected to apply for costs from her previous trial soon. In regional news in Bahamas, Jaiko Choulet was denied bail for the second time, and he's accused of murdering former legislator Donald Saunders. This is the second time he was denied bail, with Chute remaining in custody. He has a trial set for the 21st of June, 2027. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has confirmed that a private jet was intercepted in Cancun and searched, but nothing was found. The aircraft was linked to suspicious activities, but left under security surveillance. In Trinidad, a 4.5 magnitude earthquake struck just before midnight on Thursday, with tremors felt in Port of Spain, Arima, and San Fernando. No injuries or damages were reported. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
This holiday season, give the gift of sport and style. Winter Circle Sports has everything you need. Quality brands and unbeatable prices on the latest gear. New Christmas stock just arrived. Score big with European Football League jerseys from Adidas, Nike, Air Max, and Dunks. Jordan shoes and clothing, Vans, Authentics, and old school styles. Graphic tees and Levi jeans. Plus, take the advantage of early bird Christmas special. Enjoy 10% off gift cards and make holiday shopping even easier. Find them at 12 Walkers Road, Georgetown. Winter Circle Sports, always a step ahead.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments December 7th to the 14th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email Dr. Porter K-Man at gmail.com. That's drporterkman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
Nominations are now open for National Heroes Day Awards 2025. This year, we honor Caymanian excellence in business in recognition of the icons of entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership, those whose ingenuity and hard work have shaped our business community. Submit your nomination online at gov.ky/labor or email nhd@gov.ky for more details. Nomination deadline has been extended to December 14th. Don't wait. Make your nomination today.
Season's greetings and a happy new year to everyone in Radio Land, coming to you from JJ the Iceman. Remember, listen to Radio Cayman and Breeze FM #1.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And such a pleasure to be able to highlight and showcase the wonderful talent. And as the last caller, Mr. Mickey, very quickly, agreed having Miss Susan join us from time to time. And it just brings greater appreciation to our area. So thanks, Susan, for not just being behind the scenes, but for sometimes sharing with us. And she was reminding us, for those of us who, did, at times I don't think there's anybody who felt it as a chore. I think it was with a great expectation. You got to get that ground basket. You went with your daddy and your mama. If your daddy was still here, had come back in time, maybe it was the older siblings, your uncles. You went down to the bay and did you have a shovel, Susan? Or you had to take your hand and, fill it up, the ground basket with your hands? Or did you actually have a shovel?
We had everything. We had to get the sand, so if we had to take a shovel, take our hands, or take the little cups, we got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you had to clear rid of rocks just to make sure you only got the sand. Mm-hmm. And if you ever go back, you have to sift the sand just to make sure it was only the prettiest white.
Yeah, we'd sift that sand and we'd decorate the pathways with the conch shells and rocks.
Yeah.
It was like a piece of the beach at home, really.
Yeah. And I messaged during the break someone, I tried calling just to, because I always question the narrative that was done so that it would look like snow. I'm not quite sure I buy that.
Yeah, that's what it was said.
Yeah. And the reason why I remember a conversation, and being very young, and of course not necessarily being able to have been present to listen as intently as you want, because how big people talk. But something left me believing that it wasn't to be snow. Not saying that it wasn't, but perhaps it was just a way for people to have the yards nice, bright, clean, shiny, as a way of offering, their sort of thanksgiving for Christmas. Just like we painted their houses, made sure everything was spotless. The pride that we took with maintaining our yards wasn't done to welcome tourists. It was done out of pride. That notion that either say two ways, cleanliness is next to godliness, or just because you're poor, you don't have to be nasty, depending on how you take it. People took pride in who they were. Your clothes were, well, maybe one or two little trays that you had, they were clean and pressed, right? They looked good and you took care of them. Back in sand, though, I don't know. Let's go do it again.
You didn't back any sand?
Oh, I love that.
Oh, dear.
Oh man. I found it to be something that brought you together, and the entire community did it. And it wasn't a competition. It was an appreciation or respect, a healthy sort of recognition that you took pride in what you did, and everybody did it, And they weren't greedy. They didn't take it to stockpile it. They didn't take it to sell it. They were very selective. What else do you think that we did then that somehow brought us together that we would do now? Just even remembering it as we speak to it might remind us that in our little we had a lot.
Christmas Day games. You remember that?
You played games?
Yeah. Christmas Day was full of laughter and fun, and we'd eat. We can't forget the Christmas beef.
All I did was eat.
We would engage that local beef, and then our parents would cook it up, and then of course we'd eat it.
Yeah.
And then I remember two of the boys making kites.
Mm.
You remember that? I'm sure you done that.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd make the kites out of brown paper bags sometimes.
Yeah. And what kind of sticks you use for your kites?
Candle sticks.
Cabbage sticks?
Oh, cabbage sticks. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I remember my brothers would make the flour paste with the water
just to be able to stick the paper down, right?
It's like a glue, right, for the kite. Okay.
Yeah. Flour and water.
But when that kite get up in the air and it would tangle up, what a mess.
That didn't happen. No telling for that.
Yeah.
It would just sing the most, melodious tone you could ever hear. Well, what about the idea that as we looked at Christmas, people talk about engaging the beef. Even that word isn't used anymore. The thing that went into getting it. You engaged it long beforehand. You had to go at a certain time to get it. You got it. You prepped it. You seasoned it. Then you prepared it. It wasn't, out of the freezer section of the supermarket and into the microwave and 5 seconds later on the plate. This was an involved process.
Right. We would wash it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just take it and just cook it.
Mm-hmm.
We'd wash it and you see, the thing for the Christmas beef, it was in the seasoning.
Yep.
It was seasoned. We'd take season for a couple hours. Then we put it, slow cook it. You don't cook it fast,
Low and slow. Like most things, take your time. What's that song? Not Coming Home? But then the cakes, right?
Oh, don't talk about the cakes. You're going to make me hungry.
I'm already there, man. So, now, did you have a favorite? Was it yam, cassava? Was it sweet potato? Was it custard top cornbread?
Cassava cake.
Cassava cake?
I didn't particularly like the yam cake too much.
No, I didn't either. I mean, my daddy would, I think, I'll paraphrase, he would say the best cake eaten is the one you got in your fork right then and there. You would tell a joke about Mr. Saifa, but with that and the cake, the cassava cake, some like it very dense, some like it very stretchy. Some use brown sugar, some use white sugar. To you, is there a difference? Is there a preference?
Of course, there's a lot of differences in the way some people, even in the districts,
that
they the way they make the cassava cake. I like it. I think with a little crusty on the top. I guess that's the sugar that would form on the top, but cassava cake is my choice for heavy cake.
Strangely enough, I actually enjoyed husking and grating the coconut. I mean, my knuckles probably didn't like it at some points, but the idea that on the grater and you grated the coconut and got a cheesecloth and you squeeze it, I actually enjoyed that. The physical aspect of trying to make a contribution and getting your coconut get a machine, you're able to take it down, husk it, you're able to extract it, take the coconut out, then grate it. You have a strong appreciation for the amount of effort that went into the meal preparation.
Right.
And maybe that what made it so nice.
And also the old time skits and performances. You remember that?
Yeah, I didn't necessarily maybe partake of that as much. I mean, it was nice, but perhaps
Caymanians are full of humor.
Yeah.
So everyone would have a part in the play. We used to put on some old time skits and performances, and then they were funny, heartfelt, and always a crowd pleaser.
Yeah. That storytelling tradition, I think, is something that is evident in us, but for whatever reason, like so much is being supplanted by, things that we no longer remember. And as you shared across each district, but I imagine even on the BRAC, from one part to the next, what the difference is.
Right, and church was a big part of Christmas.
Yeah.
We would practice for weeks our lines to recite and not miss a beat.
No.
You had it down pat, and get up in front of the church and recite your poems. Or
I think the reverence that we had for community, the way the society came together, and one of the things that I really, really admire and respect in the BRAC is that when we visit there, you quickly are reminded that the community is still connected. It is increasingly changing, and nobody's saying that there shouldn't be progress, but it needs to be inclusive. Here in Grand Cayman, we keep saying it's too late, but it's not. Just being reminded. I should have to share that I had a wonderful evening just recently with some friends who had to visit earlier this year than they normally would. They're not going to be here for Christmas as they had hoped. And they make an effort to ensure that their children are able to recall some of their historical and cultural practices that are no longer sort of not only respected, but have come to become, that thing that is not the norm. And yet, if the children don't have that, they don't remember the things, and they're consciously reminding them. It happens whether in Cayman or in some, religious practices, as is in other societies. We're being almost uniform across the globe. It's going to become a sad space when everything is one and the same. Huh?
And also the scent of Christmas was extra special. The fresh pine from the tree. And then I remember all the apples at Christmas time was something else. Of course, a little sea breeze to mix it all up.
When was the last time you actually could smell fruit, apple in particular? Really?
It's been a while.
And I'm not saying that to disparage. I'm asking people to realize that you get a fruit, it doesn't have the smell, right? You get a fruit, it doesn't have a seed, and yet somehow that is supposed to be normal. An apple had a distinctive smell and flavor.
That's right.
Boy.
And I remember on Christmas Eve, we'd all sit around and tell stories. We'd have a little sorrel and eggnog.
Yeah.
And enjoy each other's company.
Oh,
There's no cell phones then,
Right.
We'd actually do face-to-face conversations. That was a big part of the season. Just sitting around, enjoying each other's companies.
Yeah. That time that we consciously, deliberately made for each other. And I don't know, other than Christmas Eve, but you got to stay up what was considered late for a child, right? And I know that part I enjoyed. You get to wait up and to see, and is this thing that they call Santa actually real? Never believed, but maybe it is true. I mean, Mr. Brown said he met him and his wife recently, so maybe I wasn't just a little bit helped the skepticism don't hurt.
I guess you got to remember the real reason for the season, and it's definitely not Santa Claus.
No, but even in the Cayman context, I wonder if we are allowing our education awareness or our travel and exposure or notion to be worldly to displace the beliefs that we have, the convictions that cause us to be so grounded. And it's not to disparage other societies or religious beliefs, but in Cayman, we seem to be losing our way in every way. For you, the children, I guess the extended cousins, probably like my own, coming together and
Right.
having all that food and all that fun and all of that, sort of season where nothing is wrong. Everybody made a conscious effort, always respectful that there are those who are, as now, feeling a sense of loss because, someone hasn't come back or someone has passed on. But they loved and respected and honored and cherished each other in every moment. Beautiful time, huh?
So true, yeah. And I remember also new clothes. Especially my mother. She would put away new clothes in the stores, like a layaway.
Mm-hmm. And fabric to make them.
Right. And then I guess she would purchase them just before Christmas. That all that Christmas week would have new outfits.
Yeah.
And you couldn't afford really to buy them one time. So she would pay down different times, like a layaway situation.
Yeah. And as you shared out, Susan, I'm hoping that people in Cayman, all of us, would realize at the time we talk about what is 50 years ago, that was just yesterday, that the amount of change that has happened in Cayman from the introduction of, phone and electricity to air conditioning and, the idea that you have, within this space, access almost to everything that anyone in the so-called industrialized north would have, the global north. And yet, in a small space, we have much. So what we don't have necessarily isn't because of our doing, it's probably the undoing of the global leadership, making the world, not the best place it could be.
And starting, I'm sure you remember all the fire rockets, sparklers, remember those? Santa Claus in the back of a truck, all through the island.
Yeah. I like how you said it, man, the fire rockets.
Mm-hmm. That's what we call them, yeah.
That's what we call them. And if you don't know what she's referring to, I won't tell you. Ask
fire
somebody.
Rockets, yeah.
Fire rockets,
yeah.
And but they were even then, we enjoyed them in a way that there was sensible and safe supervision, that you did it and you understood, what you're doing. You weren't frivolous. You weren't fraught with some sort of malice. You enjoyed it. You made fun together. Wow.
I mean, those Christmas memories we will never forget.
Mm-mm. Do you think that our children, not just now, but in a generation or two, would actually even not only be unable to enjoy them, but they may not be able to recall them because we don't share them anymore?
Yes, I think some of the parents, some parents do share the stories of the past Cayman Christmases, but I think we need to do more.
Yeah. How would we though? Because there's something I was thinking about. I know, I won't call him by name because he tell me if somebody say that to me one more time. Good fellow who serves, in services, now employed like many within our civil service. He together with another did, play at Christmas, and the line that my children used to laugh to and say, "Oh, you feel that Christmas breeze?" When on tour under the tutelage of Matt Brown, they did that in the various town halls and the like, and the school halls. It reminds us of how the little things are significant, and it's that brings families and communities together. As you said, it's not about the receiving or the giving of gifts. It's the idea that you're fellowship and you're prayerful.
Quality time.
Quality time. One of the love languages. And we're losing it. I'll say this. I've said this for as long as I've known myself. That when I become governor, there'll be a national celebration from the 23rd, depending on where the calendar falls, certainly before Christmas Eve, until the 2nd or the 4th or whenever. The country as a whole just celebrate, just like what we did during Christmas of yesteryear when the seafarers would return. You noticed that everybody got along. There wasn't this mad rush. Stores were open late to accommodate who was, still needing to shop or was able to, but people fellowshipped. They shared of their bounty or of their little, they gave, of what they had, and mostly they treasured and cherished each other.
Yes, we helped each other out. We shared the joy, and we made sure everyone was included at Christmas, especially at Christmas time.
Yeah, nobody was excluded. Nobody, for the most part, everybody, I'll put it this way, try to get along. Put aside their little differences. I saw something, within my sort of last year or two of a teenager, working two individuals who it appeared were at odds all year. They had to be the most competitive. They were always seated across from each other, contesting some client or the other. And yet at Christmas, they broke bread. They raised a glass to one another. They seemed to almost shake hands and smile. As the new year came around, they went right back at it again.
And Christmas, we got to remember that Christmas is a time for joy and celebration, but we got to stay safe on the roads as well.
Thank you for that reminder.
No drinking and driving is not worth the risk to your life or others. If you're going to drink, make sure you have a designated driver. Also, take advantage of the Purple Ribbon Bus and arrive alive.
That's it.
On New Year's Eve. That's happening on New Year's Eve.
I would try to channel Quincy and say, if you got to drink, stay home, stay right there and drink. No, but you're right. Don't put yourself or others in harm's way. And when you go, maybe you don't call it, but perhaps we would once again. Go visiting, spend time with each other. Take a minute and just sit and recognizing that the world will continue with or without you. But while you're here, make it a meaningful contribution and enjoy. And that drink may not be no more than a little bit of coconut water fresh that hucks from the tree. It might just be room temperature water. Or it may be something that someone has prepared and hot off the stove. But you're spending time responsibly, respectfully, and lovingly.
Yeah, Christmas is a time for giving. Share what you have with those in need, and whether it's food or clothing or just a kind word.
Yeah.
Helping others bring joy to the season.
Yeah. Yes. And as you shared, I won't quote any or attempt to quote any lyrics from country songs, but that's why I liked, because they resonate with me. They're different parts, of the country songs. If you don't know the chorus or all the lyrics, that speak to our hearts and remind us, and especially the Christmas country songs, in that whether they're the ones we would sing in church or whether they're just ones that speak to things, I believe that there's much in life reflected in song. So I know, Ms. Susan, you will continue to wish us all a very, very healthy and most joyous of Christmases, but I hope people would heed what you just shared and not drink and drive, not drive under the influence of anything, not put yourself in a space where you cause harm to others or to yourself. Even if you're exhausted because you've been working so much, that could create something for you that you wish you hadn't done. Is undoable.
Yeah, we got to cherish every moment. It's the simple joys that mean the most.
Yeah.
Keep our Caymanian traditions alive.
Yeah.
And we need to pass them on to the younger generation so they know the value of family, faith, and love. The word is love.
Love, man. That all-encompassing agape love, the love that you have for one and all. And I think Mr. Abel will remind us that if we have that in our hearts and if we consciously exude it through our eyes and in our hands, we'll see people that much better. I think a smile can bring much joy to many. So thanks so much, Ms. Susan, for joining us.
You're most welcome.
Oh man, it's always an honor. It's interesting. As I close out today, I reflect on what Mr. Roy Borden shared yesterday. He said probably the most open public secret there is. He just celebrated his 78th birthday, and yet the energy and youthfulness, the enthusiasm that he exists within him is probably, for many of us, not just great inspiration, but an acknowledgement that if you live a good life, you try to be as best as you can, as conscious as you can, contribute in the most meaningful way, you may be rewarded with not just many years, but a quality that ensures that your contributions continue beyond, just today. So to all, life is about enjoying and embracing, as difficult as it is. I know many times it's disheartening to see people malign and with malicious intent others manipulate and somehow dupe those around them because they're in a position of authority. Well, the old people say, and I say it this way, hopefully it resonates with you. I don't know if it's wrong, Susan will chastise me, but you spit in the sky, you fall in your face. That's a saying that is one that may not be as how should we say, eloquent as I could phrase it, but sometimes I won't do as Psalmist says, as he gets from Mark Twain, but sometimes you need to have a little punch to your word, and perhaps in absence of expletives, let that resonate with us. Have a wonderful weekend. Let us be our brother's keepers. Mr. Hart reminds us, join him come Monday morning, because as the weeks unfold, he'll take that needed siesta and enjoy the Christmas breeze. Well, we may follow suit and do likewise. God bless.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. You are listening to